Alright Vault Hunters, today we're talking about the 10 things I want in Borderlands 4. And honestly, I'm already hyped, because they've added what might be the single greatest quality of life feature in any Borderlands game ever. An audio slider just for Claptrap. That's right, you can turn him down or off. It's completely up to you. Best game ever. Okay, fine, let's actually get into the video with number 10. We need an endgame that rewards the grind. Here's my beef with Borderlands 3. I hit max level before I even rolled the credits. After that, there wasn't much to chase beyond just more loot for the sake of it, you know? Borderlands 1 and 2 had that loop. You finished the game, and there was still so much left to hunt for. New challenges, new gear, new raid bosses, new reasons to keep running the raid bosses. I want Borderlands 4's endgame to make me think, just one more run at 3 AM, not, guess I'm done now. Also, in Borderlands 3, legendaries were everywhere. I'm not kidding. Too much loot. I want to feel the grind. I want to grind legendaries to make my build stronger, not just be gifted everything consistently. I want a game which gives me more of a power fantasy, you know, without the sponging. By the time I hit endgame, I don't want my momentum to crash into a wall of absurdly inflated health bars. Enemies shouldn't feel like walking fortresses that take 5 minutes to chip down, turning every fight into a test of patience instead of just skill. I want speed, I want flow, I want fights where my build, the one that I've been spending hours perfecting, actually pays off in spectacular fashion. Let me sprint through maps in a storm of carnage, chaining critical hits and explosions, mowing through mobs in seconds. Think Borderlands 2 at its best, where your character build could hit that sweet spot of damage output, crowd control and movement speed, making you feel unstoppable without the game having to crank enemy HP to absurd levels just to keep up. Give me scaling enemies that are still threatening if I mess up, but fragile enough that when I play well, they melt under my firepower. Make the endgame about mastering chaos, not surviving attrition. I want to feel like a god, not like I'm just scrubbing health bars down. Reward skill and build optimization with power, not longer time to kills. The faster I can delete enemies, the more fun I'll be having. Secrets and Easter eggs in all games are important, but look, Borderlands has always had a knack for hiding little nods, jokes and surprises, but in Borderlands 4 I want them to crank that up to 11. I'll be honest, I don't even remember any Easter eggs from Borderlands 3, but thinking back to Borderlands 2, now those secrets stuck with me forever. Whenever I think about secrets I get reminded of the Minecraft room in Caustic Caverns, and how exciting that was for me when I was younger. And don't forget the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Easter egg when placing a pizza down. All these little nods are awesome to find, and even Borderlands pre-sequel had an awesome Easter egg, the Super Mario Easter egg, and I want a ton more in Borderlands 4. The point is, secrets make a world feel alive. When you hear rumours from friends about that one hidden door, and everyone starts hunting for it, now that's magic, and in a loot-driven game like Borderlands, there's nothing better than a legendary weapon and a great story about how you found it. I guess secrets give a type of nostalgia which only builds on the memories you make within a video game, and I hope that Borderlands 4 brings us some cool new Easter eggs to enjoy. So in Borderlands 3, Sanctuary 3's player room was fine. You could hang a few guns on the wall, maybe put a plant in the corner, but I want to be able to flex. Give me customizable rooms, trophy displays, loot walls. Let me mount the head of that raid boss that I just took down, or display the first legendary I ever found. When my friends drop by, I want them to know I've been putting in that work. As well as this, I want the player hub to be memorable. Once again, for me, Borderlands 2 Sanctuary stuck with me, but Borderlands 3 I found it hard to maneuver and always got lost trying to do the simplest of things. Make it feel like a cool zone to explore and even do small side quests just like in Borderlands 2. I can imagine that Borderlands 4 will take place on Sanctuary 3 again, but I hope this time it's easier to explore and there is more flexing that can be done in the rooms. So in Borderlands 4, I want some loot which is incredibly hard to obtain. Think RuneScape, where you've got to spend hours and hours grinding to get that best in slot gear that takes some skill, not just luck. You prove yourself in some insane challenge, you walk away with a piece of loot that means something. This could change per Vault Hunter, meaning the best in slot gear is not always the same. This would bring a whole new aspect to Borderlands 4. I guess it relates to the OP levels back in Borderlands 2, but instead of just getting a level up with bigger numbers equals better, you should get some OP gear. The challenge could be something crazy like beating the game melee only, or don't die in a single playthrough, and depending on what playthrough you are on, the gun/gear has a cap, so you can't just do these cool challenges all on normal mode for the best gear. What do you guys think of this idea? It's 2025 Gearbox. I shouldn't have to save and quit with my friends when farming bosses or enemies to get a drop. There should be an easier way to do this. However, Borderlands 4 does indeed promise a smoother, more streamlined boss farming system. No more tedious save and quit loops possibly, but what if the enemy I am farming is not a boss? Now that's another question. Hopefully I won't spend hours saving and quitting with friends to farm gear again. Now we're about halfway through the video. If you've made it this far, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Also, tell me what you wanted to see in Borderlands 4 in the comments. Borderlands has always been a funny game, but I also want it to pull me in. I want Borderlands 4 to give me a campaign that's not just a series of go here, shoot this, get loot, but something that pulls me along with real stakes attached. Give me betrayal, give me moments where a cutscene ends and I just have to see what's next. Borderlands 2 had this. There were moments that made my jaw drop. Borderlands 3, I never really felt the urgency. Borderlands 4 needs to sink its hooks in deep. In Borderlands 3, it felt like Ava was supposed to be the next big character lined up, and she was focused upon, but honestly, for me and multiple of my friends, we never really cared about Ava, and found her more of an annoyance than anything. Now, that doesn't mean Borderlands 4 can't make her more likeable, but to do this would take a crazy amount of character building and fantastic writing, which I believe will be the case and is one of my biggest wants for Borderlands 4. As mentioned prior, less of the bullet spongy enemies and bosses. I hope Borderlands 4 adds mechanics. A great game which actually does this, they have a different mechanic for each boss and it's the Legend of Zelda series. There's multiple ways to beat each boss, but there's always a focus, you know? Aim at the weak spot, they only take damage from certain weapons, you must parry. Are all cool ideas that Borderlands 4 could and should adopt in their own way. Make me sit there confused as to why this boss heals when I shoot at it with a corrosive weapon, for example. Borderlands 2 actually used this type of idea with Master Yi, or G, or whatever the fuck, the Invincible, with having to kill him by using the acid pools against him and staying defensive opposed to always offensive and attacking. What I mean by Vault Hunter story personalization is dialogue and reactions that change based upon your chosen character's backstory, which gives more immersion and replayability. For example, in Cyberpunk 2077, the way you handle situations change depending on if you are a corpo, a nomad or street kid, which are different paths your characters came from. If Borderlands 4 was to implement this, then you may be able to see cutscenes play out differently depending on if you are Vex, Amon, Harlow or Rafa. And speaking of Rafa, he went AWOL when working for Tidio's military, therefore, if we come into contact with Tidio, realistically, he should react differently to the other characters, just to make you feel more immersed, and that you actually are Rafa, and feel how he feels in those situations. Look, nothing's topping Handsome Jack overnight, and I'm fully aware of that. The guy had it all, charisma, charm, and the humour. Jack didn't just talk at you, he got under your skin and stayed there throughout the whole story. The Calypso twins, yeah, they had Wi-Fi and were live streamers, which I guess is kinda cool, but they sort of lacked presence. Too much meme spamming, not enough oh no, they're in the room type of energy. For Borderlands 4, I wish for villains with real depth. The kind who make you second guess your own confidence, and that at any point something bad could happen. Someone whose backstory drips into the game like poison, making every encounter feel heavier. Someone who is unpredictable, and honestly, from what we've seen, the Timekeeper might be exactly that. They've got the aura, the mystique, and the unnerving control over events. Just listen to his name, the Timekeeper. That's someone I wouldn't want to f*** with. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. While you're at it, leave a comment telling me what you're most excited about for Borderlands 4. See you in the next one. Peace.